going to go ahead and get this commission meeting for Monday, August 5th, 2024 started. Can I please have the city clerk call the roll?
Present.
Here. Present.
Here.
Here.
Here. If I can please have Pastor Maldonado come to the front so we can do the invocation. And then we have the national anthem with the special guest. Please stand. Click the button to turn it on, please.
Okay, there we go. Thank you, Mayor, Commissioner, and citizens, residents of Deltona. Let us pray. Lord, we come before you as we gather within the walls of this chamber. We ask for your guidance and your direction, Lord, and that all we do, Lord, we do it for the good of the people. In the name of Jesus, we pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen. This time, I'd also like to ask for a moment of silence for a Lake County officer that lost his life, Master Deputy Sheriff Bradley Michael Link. Prayers for his wife, Brittany, and his parents, Christy and Daniel. So if we can please have a moment of silence for him in his honor. Thank you. At this time, we'll do the pledge, and then we'll have the Pine Ridge Choir come up and do the national anthem. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. That our flag was still there. Does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Thank you so much again. That's our Pine Ridge High School right there. Thank you so much. This time I'm going to invite the commission to meet me downstairs so we can honor our veteran.
Thank you.
This time I would like to invite Mr. Brandon S. Tapia to the front, please. Sergeant First Class. Mr. Tapia, Thank you for 25 years of service in the U.S. Army, serving through multiple deployments and combat tours. Sergeant First Class Tapia graduated from one of the hardest academic schools in the military, Bradley Master Gunner Course, and served as a Master Gunner in every type of unit from company, division, corps, and MACM levels. He provided guidance to senior level commanders in training and proudly served as a multinational Corps Iraqi Master Gunner as Staff Sergeant Gunner, a position that generally requires a rank of Sergeant Major. Following retirement in 2013, Sergeant First Class retired Tapia conducted multiple military independent contracting tours worldwide, including the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Niger, Chad, Burkina Faso, Cameroon, and Guinea, and continued to fight against the growing threat of global terrorism organizations, and I'm going to botch all of these, as AQAP, NIM, Boko Haram, until the last day on contract. Mr. Tapia, it is my honor and my pleasure to honor you today. Thank you so much for your service.
I appreciate it, sir. Thank you. I appreciate it.
This time, we're going to entertain approval of,
What happened to the awards? So it's on the agenda?
oh,
You gotta go back down.
it's after the approval of the minutes. So we're going to continue to approval of minutes and agenda, approval of minutes of the regular commission meeting of July 15, 2024 as presented.
So moved.
So moved by Commissioner Avila Vasquez. Second by Commissioner Colwell. Oh, Commissioner McCall. Motion passes 6-0. At this time, we're going to do the presentation, awards, and reports. Ray Combs, President of VEMA, will present the Volusia County Sheriff's Office with a plaque of recognition of their partnership with First Annual Memorial Day Bike Ride event on May 27th, and I'll hand that part over to Commissioner Avila Vasquez. And if the commission would like, we can meet her down on the floor.
Thank you, Mayor. So some of you were here the last time that VEMA was present, and they presented an award and a check to our Firefighters Foundation for close to $7,000. And this money was raised at the bike ride for Memorial Day that we did last year. VEMA has gone out of their way to come back and suggest or actually request that we also partner again with them for another bike ride. And that bike ride was escorted for the safety of everyone who volunteered by our Sheriff's Department bikers and their commanders and their captains and everyone. And so VEMA is here today to acknowledge and say thank you to the Sheriff's Department. Ray?
Ladies and gentlemen, today we gathered to express our deepest gratitude to the Volusia County Sheriff's Office for their outstanding support during our Memorial Day event. Their generous sponsorship and dedicated escort service played a crucial role in ensuring its success and the safety of all participants. Captain Powers and Lieutenant Miller, your team's professionalism and commitment to our community are truly commendable. We are honored to have had your partnership, and it made all the difference. As a token of our appreciation, we are proud to present this plaque to the Volusia County Sheriff's Office. It symbolizes our heartfelt thanks and recognition of your invaluable contribution. Thank you once again for your unwavering support and dedication. Please join me in a round of applause for the Volusia County Sheriff's Office.
Or do we want to join them?
Come on.
With the line.
Thank you.
This time we're going to go ahead and enter into public forum.
Lori Warnickel, please.
Good evening. My name is Lori Warnicki, and I want to thank you for your service to our great city. I know I've met with some of you personally, and I appreciate that, and hope to meet with the rest of you soon. Today I want to talk about the future land use map. The question is in the word future. What determines future? It reminds me of a bar sign, free beer tomorrow. It's not today, it's in the future. Why does the city keep allowing big, greedy builders to determine our future? The builders, the attorneys, the engineers, and the consultants, they don't live in our community, and yet they're planning our future. I attended a workshop a few weeks ago in DeBerry and was pleased to see a couple of the Deltona planners in the crowd. It was titled Vibrant, Safe, and Active Community. Sounds like a great place to live. Our great city has the perfect opportunity to create a vibrant, safe, and active community. The city of Deltona, along with Volusia County and the residents of Osteen, have a clean slate along 415. We already have a bike path. What a great start. One of the points that was brought up in the workshop was why build a townhomes if you don't have a town? A perfect example of ill-conceived and poorly planned. We have townhomes being built right now, and the only place the residents will be able to walk to is the Circle K and Skip's Boots. Safety was also discussed. Why do big builders keep designing subdivisions with front-loading garages and short driveways? It's a recipe for disaster. Parents feel unsafe to allow their children to use the sidewalks. Why have we let this happen over and over? It's big builder greed. I have stood in this same room so many times before trying to express my concern on upcoming big builder projects. Driveways too short, too many cars parked on the street, flooding that never occurred before, crime and traffic. The list is long, and time after time, the residents have been right. Another big builder community is in the works, Raintree, with 310 houses on 70 acres that once was a borrow pit, acres of wetland, and a possible aquifer breach, all in the middle of large acres established home sites. The project has already been through DRC. So many concerned residents showed up for the meeting that it had to be moved down here. The big builders and their attorneys listened to all the concerns from all the residents and did nothing to change their plan before submitting it to Planning and Zoning for review. Does that sound like they're concerned about our future? No, just lining their pockets. The residents and I hope the city is tired of big builders taking advantage. Thank you very much for your time.
Victor Ramos, please.
Good day, everyone. Victor Ramos, Deltona. Good day to Mayor and Commissioners. I just want to, as your TPO BPAC committee member, I just want to give you a quick update of what we've done here in the city for the summer. I have to say thank you to our Parks and Rec Director, Mark. We had an opportunity to provide 65 fitted helmets, bicycle helmets, to their summer camp. And just this Friday, we collaborated with the library. And I want to thank Commissioner from District 2, Troy Shimkus, also for participating. We were able to fit 105 students with bicycle helmets. So I just wanted to give you an update. We look forward to doing this again in West Crowell in about a couple of months. And it's all about safety first. So I just wanted to give you a quick update on that. Thank you.
Althea King. And you started at 3.
Good afternoon, good evening, actually. Twofold things. First, last time I was here, I made mention of the celebration we had at West Crowell this past Saturday for the 25th anniversary for the Jamaica Independence celebration. And I thank you, Commissioner Roritza, for coming. Am I off?
Is
Hello?
the green light on?
Okay, yeah. I thank the Commissioner for showing up. We really appreciate it. We had a great turnout from the community. And rain or shine, people did show up. And we had lots of free food that was given out to our community as well as to our kids. And everyone had a great time listening. But I'm also here. There we go. There we go. Okay. I'm also here to also talk about the West Volusia NAACP. I do represent today the women of the West Volusia NAACP. We are going to have our first annual luncheon to celebrate the really theme of the West Volusia women. What we're focusing on is domestic violence within our community. So we want to honor scholarships to 2 women within our community that are survivors of domestic violence, but we're also going to invite each and every one of you. So within the week, either myself or the actual chair of West Volusia Women and NAACP will be contacting you with more information about this event. It's going to be held October the 18th at 11:30 a.m., so it's a Friday, and we hope that each and every one of you, including the city mayor, will come out and support the women in NAACP. And thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Brandy White, please.
Brandy White, Deltona. I'm going to mention again this decorum policy you have listed. Please get rid of it. It's not enforceable as it's written. It's embarrassing to constantly see it, knowing that should you try to enforce it, you're going to get us sued. Moving on, I have some questions regarding the answers that were given from the workshop on July 22nd. I asked the total dropped for miscellaneous revenue from $2.3 million to $806,000. The answer talks about how we only brought in $271,000 in interest. Do we know what resulted in such a poor interest rate that it dropped over, what, $2 million? If somebody could look into what could we have possibly done wrong where we lost $2 million in a year in interest. The second one I had was the explanation to the millage rate increase. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought the projection showed that it talked about the employee salaries and the study and the change that would cover that. I don't remember this question being, or this answer being up there at all as to why it was 7.2. This is a whole new answer. So if we could just clarify that this is the right answer and not what we saw up on the projector screen up there. Moving on, I had questions, budget related again, tab 13 specifically. I'm going to go ahead and just read it straight from here so I don't miss any. I believe it's planning and development is tab 13. All right. It says here that in budget cycle 2024, we lost one position at about 23,000, yet our overtime was listed as less than the previous year. Now we fast forward to this year's proposed budget, we're adding about $100,000, so that's one or two positions, yet the overtime is going to be doubled. So that's really confusing to me. In addition, there's an additional $100K for the consulting and peer review to cover the current vacancies until filled. So it just seems like there's a lot of money going into the same thing, plus an overtime that I don't understand if we're adding positions. Number two, in 2023, operating expenses were $88,000 compared to this cycle, 2024, showing $404,000. With an additional, this proposed 2025 budget at $472,000. Can we see a list of expenses for the budget, such as the additional $100,000 mentioned above for the consulting to cover current vacancies? According to the budget, there are 5 vacant positions still, so there should be a surplus at the true-up at the end of this year for the budgeted positions that we did last year that we didn't actually fill. I'm hoping that's correct. If not, why wouldn't we? Line 524001, travel and per diem. In 2023, we actually spent just about $1,000. Our current budget this year for 2024 was budgeted $7K. That's a $6,000 increase in 1 year. And this year we're asking to up it again to $9,800. So in 2 years we're looking at like $7,000 increases. This is just travel and per diem, so I'm confused on that. Line 52540, publications, memberships, and training. We spent about $3K in 2023. Our current year is $9,400, so again, that's a $6,400 increase, but now we're moving it up to $14K. That's 5 times the budget just 2 years ago. I'd like an explanation. Thank you.
Courtney Cross-Burgers, please. Ready?
Good evening. I'd like to start off by thanking the city for all the events that you've put on recently and over the year, but just recently, the Mommy and Me and whatever. And I apologize for the residents that still complain. There are lots of us that appreciate what you do. And I guess the old saying, you can't please everyone. But I just wanted you guys to know that it is appreciated, all the hard work. You know, Maritza with her bike thing on Memorial Day, the Mommy and Me, the Daddy, and all of it. The thing that Davison was out with the fire department and whatever, giving out backpacks. It's amazing what you guys do, and you should be thanked for that. I wanted to give some appreciation to Davison for always coming to my rescue on explaining things that have caused me concern. And on that note, Doc, I really don't want you to fail, because if you fail, our city fails and we fail. I'd like I'd like to ask you if you would communicate a little bit better with us, use your PIO. If you were a little bit more I can't say that word, you know what I'm saying, it would go a long way to resolve misunderstandings. I think you want to do what's right with us, and you have to remember you stepped into this where we don't have good experience with our previous city managers. So we're keeping a closer eye on you. No fault of your own, just what you stepped into. But we'd like to get to know you. We'd like to know if we can trust you. And just little things, just absolutely, like this whole thing. And then the budget meeting. And there's just a million little things that it would have taken just 5 minutes of your time to ask somebody to put a blurb out. And on that note, if we could decide where you want to put it, whether it's on the website or the city page, wherever you want to put whatever information you're going to share with us, let us know, because that way we know to go and look there. And if we don't, then it's on us, okay? But I look at all the different places and I don't see much of anything. And, you know, the way the agendas are worded and all that. And it's all just misunderstanding. But, you know, Facebook gets a hold of that and it blows up to something that could have been avoided. And you're not the only one. I'm just directing this to you because, you know, with the agendas and things, that's been on you recently. And the last thing I wanted to say was a little bit about this whole Jody Lee subject. And I can't believe how long this is going on Facebook and people focusing on this instead of looking into the real issues. And what a waste of time this is. You know, so if you get him removed as vice mayor, so what? So what? I don't understand. Vice mayor is not that big of a deal. He runs meetings when the mayor's not here. And he's coming up for election in November. So why don't you just let his residents do that? This is one of the reasons that the residents don't trust the dais, because so many ulterior motives going on and useless, needless things where our attentions could be focused on more important things. Do I think what he said was wrong? Do I think what he said was right? No, I don't. I think it was disgusting, whoever said it. But do I think it needs to have all this attention that it's been having when if people don't like it, they can kick him out in November? Anyway, I hope you guys have a good rest of your evening.
Kathy Bryan, please.
Good evening, Kathy Bryan. Courtney always beats me. And Kathy Bryan, Deltona. Budget workshop. Number one, thank you for having it. Do I think it could have gone better? Yes. Do I think there were some good things about it? Yes. I think it's a good idea, and I would like to see it continue, but on an improved basis. Maybe we do need to send questions in early. However, if I make a budget, I know where I'm allocating money for specific items. And there was a lot of items there that, as citizens, we felt could have been reduced or changed out or waited till another year, or maybe wait till we get a grant writer and then move forward with that. So I hope when you guys vote on the budget that you look at some of the concerns the citizens have raised on that and consider it very carefully. You may be a group of representation, but when we allow people to represent us without paying attention to what they're doing, we get into a lot of trouble that way. Second thing, I don't know if you've heard Orange County, and of course county, not the city. I don't think the city of Orlando is happy, but they're leaving it up to a voter decision on rural areas where they want to draw a boundary. And you don't annex that land in. Let the voters decide what that will be. And that's been an issue over and over again where we have people who want higher density next to lower density. And while you may have a right to do what you want with your land, when other people, you're talking about one developer or a group of developers and maybe lawyers who own this piece of property or the owner of the property, and they somehow supersede all the residents living around that. And how is that right? I don't think it is. So I think we can get, excuse me, real creative when it comes to land development. I realize there's certain laws we have to follow, but I think we have the opportunity to get more creative with that. So that's all I have for this evening. Thank you.
Hi, good evening. Now, we are bringing up things, and I don't really see anybody writing it down, especially the city manager. Okay. Well, I'd feel better if you wrote things down. My name is Pat Blatcher. I live on Timberlake Avenue. None of my questions that I asked at the budget meeting were answered. Okay? They're not hard questions. I wanted to go over the scholarships. I don't want to pay for something that I have to pay for. I want to donate if I can. Okay? Some people can't afford it. Okay? The fire department, now they want a new ambulance, and the training complex, and the new fire truck, and the renovations of the firehouses. Can we do a need, not a want? On the Parks and Rec, we have a splash pad. Okay. $25,000 for maintenance, $65,000 to upgrade, to regrade it or something. Okay, is that a want or a need? Okay. We had 2 drone shows, $30,000 each. Do we need 2? It's a need or a want. And new furniture. I don't know what's happening to the old furniture, somebody eating it or what. And the same with Jody Lee. Okay, it was a conversation between Jody Lee's wife and Catherine. It should have stayed there, it didn't, okay? Everybody knows it was Peggy. Jody Lee does not have a filter, okay, we know that, but he gets things done. And he cares about the people, where I think more of us should do that. That's all I got. But I want to see you writing.
Mayor, that closes public comments.
I'm going to go ahead and move to ordinances and public hearing. Public hearing resolution number 2024-39, Community Development Block Grant, Annual Action Plan and Public Service Allocations for Program Year 2024-2025.
Good evening. My name is Angela Briggs. I'm here before you to present the annual 2024-2025 Annual Action Plan for the Community Development Block Grant, which we'll call CDBG if you don't mind for the rest of the presentation. This is the second installment of the 5-year plan. The 5-year plan was submitted last year, and it works as an installment. We chip away slowly each year at a large project. One of the projects that would fit into that category is going to be the Fort Smith Pump Station. It began last year. You'll notice that approximately $680,000 has been awarded in this plan. That began last year, so we're carrying those funds over, a portion of those funds over, and using a portion of this year's funds. That's how we work in CDBG when we have large projects. We do it over multiple years. So this plan includes the $680,000 that is being carried over for the Fort Smith pump station. That project has already been started. In addition to that, we will be working with the Parks Department and the IT Department to help install a fiber ring throughout the city of Deltona. It will help monitor water levels. And in addition to that, it will allow the Parks Department and anyone else to possibly see any things that might be going on in the parks. That's going to be approximately $300,000. Of course, we have our public service funds that we would award. I think you have the particular numbers there. The public service is overseen by city staff. We have a ranking committee. There is an application process, and they are ranked. and their awards are based on their ranking, on their numbers. And finally, there's a small amount to help with admin, to pay the admin staff for a portion of their work. Did anyone have any questions? That's the basics of the plan, and I defer to you for any questions you might have about any particulars.
I'd like to make a motion to approve.
So a motion by Commissioner Harriet and a second by Commissioner McCool. Is there any public comment? There's one coming right there.
Is this when we're also talking about the applicants for the Boys and Girls Club, et cetera, or is that later?
Yes.
This is it now?
Thank you. Okay, Kathy Bryan, Deltona again. On the applicants, once again, and I think somebody usually talks about this every year when we discuss the neighborhood center, and I know we're not awarding them as much as they requested. It looks like nobody's getting as much as they requested, and I get that, but I'd even rather see them come down to maybe $10,000 and spread some of that money across Hands of Hope, Council on Aging, and Early Learning Coalition. And frankly, the Hands of Hope does so much for the community that I can't say enough good things. I really can't. And after spending last fall helping out there and seeing how much they helped citizens, gave stuff away and free meals, et cetera, that's a guarantee right there, whereas your neighborhood center is not. So that's what I wanted to say. I'd like to see that redistributed a little bit. Thank you.
Commissioner McCool.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I would like to address a subject that there was at length discussion upstairs in the city manager agenda review regarding this. I know that during budget process, I made known the fact that I asked the same for Hands of Hope being on the ground. I understand that and we talked about that for next year, because this year the awards process had already occurred, but I know that was my ask at the beginning of budget season for that to happen because of the boots on the ground by Hands of Hope. So if for the public that wasn't up at the meeting, please know that that was talked about. Please know that the hands on the ground was talked about. Please know that the rankings were done efficiently with the small amount of money that we have. I am in agreement regarding the neighborhood center. I know that the neighborhood center have been good stewards of the money. However, as budget gets tighter, we've been cut from some funding for various things through feds, through state, and through county, and it is now going to be up to the municipality to take care of themselves. I also know that some of the applicants have multiple funding sources, and my ask for next year is that we do that we rebalance so that we're distributing and that we are taking care at home. I know that the Boys and Girls Club is so important, so vital to our community. They're right here in Deltona, that we need to protect the Boys and Girls Club also. So Council on Aging, I know that we're good stewards of the money for them, Early Learning Coalition as well, but in this commissioner also working over the last 5 years with Hands of Hope and with New Hope Church, understanding how much they are boots on the ground. I would like to see us to focus more funding to them in this process, and I would like for the Appropriations Committee, as it were, to understand that that is the will of this commissioner, that Hands of Hope be reallocated next year because, again, of the work that they do right here in the community. And I'm very protectionist against, again, the Boys and Girls Club as well, because of the amount of work that they do for pennies that they get. So I just wanted to put that on record, and I wanted Ms. Bryant to know that you have been heard. I said that very thing at the beginning of budget process, ma'am, and because of how far along we were in this process already, this could not, it would have been a lot of like a lot of headache to reallocate for this year. And I also personally spoke to Pastor and Ms. Dot regarding that, but it is my push for next year to have them better funded. So thank you.
Commissioner Vila Vasquez.
Thank you, Mayor. I agree with you, Commissioner McCool, on everything you said. And again, I think that every year we discuss the same issue, take care of home first before you take care of somebody outside. And as a person who volunteers with Hands of Hope, New Hope Human Services, I can actually tell you what they do and how many times I have called, and unfortunately, people have not been able to be taken care of because there's no more funding for utilities or rental assistance. And I personally can tell you that I have worked with them, with other organizations, all the way out to Orlando to apply for grants to help city residents here in the city of Deltona. So they go above and beyond to try to get all the funding that's out there to help Deltona residents. You guys did a great job, but next year, can we please concentrate more on these organizations that are giving 200% to our residents? Do you normally interview them, or you just go over their application?
We actually go review their application. We do have 2 meetings, actually, where they come in, they explain what they do, and then when we rank them, we talk with them again, and then we explain to them why we rank them that way.
Okay. All right, thank you. Again, next year, let's give them up a little more. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, can we please vote? Motion passes 6-0. So we're going to go to Section 9A, request approval of the first addendum to the alternative water supply cost share agreement between the City of Deltona and St. Johns River Management District. First addendum is to finalize and otherwise begin closeout of this agreement, initiate repayment or refund of funds provided by the district in the amount of $596,340.66. Mr. Whitcomb.
Good evening, Mayor and Commission. Glenn Whitcomb, Public Works. This item before you tonight is something that we all met with you all last month with St. Johns River Water Management District and discussed it one-on-one. This is to repay a portion of a grant that we received for the 4B project. The original amount that we drew down from St. John's was $1.3 million. And what they're asking us to do is repay a portion of that, approximately half, $596,340.66, which will be made in 2 payments, one in October of 2025 and one in October of 2024, I'm sorry, and then one in October of 2025. Due to our budget, we'll be able to put that in the budget the next 2 years, or this coming year and the following year. The St. John's will be taking it to their board next Tuesday on the 13th for approval from their board, but we needed to get your approval. Part of these funds came from DEP to St. John's, then to us. The original grant amount was somewhere around $4.8 million. We only drew $1.3 million from that, and we're just asking for your approval tonight for this particular project. And a question that was asked earlier was, what are we doing with the material? We have approximately $1.7 million worth of material, including pipe, pumps, panels, all those kind of things. We did send some of the pipe back and restocked with the pipe company, with Ferguson Underground. So this is kind of where we are now. The material that's left can be used for other projects, such as anything that might come out of the Lake Teresa Basin study for the stormwater projects. So we will see what happens there. And that's pretty much it. Any questions?
I'd like to make a motion to approve.
There's a motion by Commissioner Harriet, second by Commissioner Colwell. Is there any public comment?
I have a question.
Commissioner Vila Vasquez.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm sorry, couldn't find my request to speak button here. I know that we went through all this in lengthy time upstairs, but can you also explain to us, because this material was paid for the Lakeshore Drive project, it's no longer going to be used for the Lakeshore Drive project, so can you please tell us what are we getting back from at the Lakeshore project in return for this material that you guys are going to use in other areas?
What we would do is, we would use this material for another potential project. I believe it was you, Commissioner, that brought up possibility of using it on a stormwater project and then stormwater paying the utility back towards the Lakeshore project. I believe that's what you're referring to.
All right, can we please vote? Motion passes 6-0. This time we're going to go to Section B, request approval for purchase of a demo transport unit and required equipment. We further request approval for the Budget Resolution 2024-38 and budget amendment in the amount of $425,000 that is necessary for said purchase. Chief.
Good evening, Commission. Chief Bill Snyder. We've working with our vendor. We have the opportunity to purchase a demo unit from them. What is the good opportunity about this is that it's a unit that's very similar to the ones that we normally purchase, in that the chassis, the size of the box, the compartmentation, things like that of the unit is extremely similar to the ones that we purchase. The major benefit to this is we can receive it in a little over a month, because the unit's actually being built at this time and should be done by the end of the month. We have a few things that we need to do, like letter the truck and, so it says City of Deltona and things like that on it. So within a couple months, we can have the truck instead of the typical 12 to 14 month time frame. And we're looking for consideration to purchase this truck.
Is there any public comment? Is there any questions from the commission? Is there a motion? There's a motion by Commissioner Villa-Vasquez.
Thank you, Mayor. I move to approve the purchase of this demo ambulance and approval of the Budget Resolution 2024-38 and budget amendments in the amount of $425,000 to be able to make the necessary budget transfers.
Second.
There's a second by Commissioner McCool. Commissioner Harriet, you're on the board.
I would like us to look at doing this, but also addressing or taking into consideration the budget request for next year. I believe we have 2 units requested for next year.
Yes, sir.
I don't want to put the city into a position where we've got 5 brand new units all within 5 years, and then in 10 years from now, when we have to replace them, we're going to run into a financial headache then. So I'd like to take in.
Just so you know, as the units come in, if we do purchase next year, the way so you have an understanding of how the units will lay out, we would have 1 from 2022, we'd have 2 units from 2023, we'd have 2 units from 2024, and then 2 units from 2025. So a total of 7 units. So they'd be somewhat spread out, so they're not all piled on 1 year, but there are 2 units per year going from 23 on, so just for your information.
I appreciate that clarification. I still think we need to look at this in a more holistic approach and consider it when we look at the final budget.
Thank you, Commissioner Harriet. Commissioner McCool, then Commissioner Shimkus.
I agree with that 10 years down the road, and I think this is a very smart purchase right now. It's deliverable right now, and, with the way that we are building and expanding, I agree to look at it next year in the budget process regarding what we have. I mean, maybe somebody will win the lotto and donate $10 million, and we won't have to do this, But I absolutely agree with that, especially for our future purchases. Not even next year, but 10 years down the road, because here we are with everything going out of service. So starting to take a look ahead in 5 years, do you know what I mean? So thank you for bringing that up, Commissioner.
Commissioner Shimkus?
I'll echo that, just the whole idea of we need to stagger these big purchases, because we keep getting hit with, we need 10 new trucks of each department each year, so there's definitely a concern there to be raised. Can you just take a few minutes to give us and the public just a little more maybe insight into your grand plan of how many fire stations do we have, how many ambulances are we trying to get to, what are we at currently, where are we not having an ambulance, just so we kind of have a better idea of the roadmap that we're trying to achieve here and how that may or may not impact response times for medical emergencies in Deltona?
So right now, we have 5 fire stations in the city of Deltona, and we currently have 1 fire suppression unit, i.e. a fire engine, in 4 of the stations, and a ladder truck that does fire suppression at 1 of the stations, so a fire suppression unit at all of our fire stations, all 5. We currently have 3 ambulances that are in service as front-run ambulances at 3 of our stations, the one on Providence, the one on Howland across from Publix, and the one on Fort Smith, Cortland. Next year, we're proposing to put a 4th ambulance in service, which I believe will take care of a good 90% of the transports that occur in the city of Deltona, and then we would use Volusia County Ambulance to kind of backfill the rest of that if we can get permission to get that 4th ambulance. As far as response times and things like that, what's nice about this is there's a lot of times where we have to take units out of service for training. That leaves a hole in those stations. With having 2 units in those stations, I can pull 1 unit out of that station and still have another unit in that station to cover that area. Whereas if I didn't have that 2nd unit in that station, then a call comes out in that area, you've got to bring units in from another jurisdiction, not another jurisdiction as far as a city, but another response area, another station would have to come into that area, which increases those response times. So we're hoping and planning on that helping us to reduce our response times by having a couple units in each of the stations to be able to cover that time when units have to be out of service or they're on another call. We have a lot of times where if a unit is on a call and that station is now uncovered, a unit has to come from another station, which increases those response times. Did that cover everything, sir? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Can we please vote?
Do we have to add something else to the motion, Joyce? From Dan Davison?
No, he's requesting for next budget.
Okay.
Motion passes 6-0.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Now we're going to go to comments and consent items. No comments. Is there any request from the commission to remove or pull any of the consent agendas? No? Okay.
I'd like to make a motion.
There's a motion by Commissioner Avila Vasquez.
Second.
There's a second by Commissioner McCool. Commissioner.
I know, but I had it in my mind that one of these things was not like the others. So, Mr. Mayor, I would like to withdraw my second and just talk about the one for a moment, please. I'm sorry, but...
So let's go ahead and pull, I'm assuming it's F.
I'm sorry, in my mind, it was another...
Is it F?
I'm going to retract my vote.
Yeah, because I thought this was under item F.
That's why I was dragging it.
All right, can I get a motion for A through E?
So moved.
So moved by Commissioner Avila Vasquez. Second by Commissioner Harriet. Can we vote on A through E, please?
I don't have a thing.
She'll have it.
Did I say yes?
Motion passes 6-0. And at this time, we're going to go ahead and talk about request approval for the proportionate fair share agreement for Catalina Point Residential Planned Unit Development, ARPA. Commissioner Cole, what are some of your concerns?
Thank you very much. As I discussed upstairs, I'm trying to get it to download here, and the meeting was a couple of changes that were made since we initially agreed to this. And I brought this up during the meeting regarding the phase. I know that they say it's going to be in one phase, but is it or is it not? The proportionate fair share, because we've gotten hosed on prop shares before. There's a recent TIA, but I need to understand the applicability to all phases, because if you're coming in, I want it all built. And then they also removed the commercial part of this whole plan here, which was a restaurant, which was part of the bait for us approving this. So I would like discussion on that as we discussed upstairs, because I believe that we had concerns about that.
Do we have staff available? Because I just want to make sure that we don't misspeak. They have not removed the restaurant from the plat at all. That is still being considered for a restaurant. It's, and I checked before we came down, that piece of land is for sale as C1, which is commercial. So I don't know if we have staff here that can speak to that.
So they're not going to develop it, they're going to sell the property.
I'd like to make a motion to continue this item to a date certain when we have the appropriate staff in place to answer our questions.
Thank you. Yes, I will second that.
Okay.
Commission Mayor, you've had a number of questions upstairs that I think are valid that we may have to just follow through on to get back to you on some of the concerns that have been stated.
Thank you.
So there's a motion on the floor to table it?
Yes,
Is
sir.
that what you said? Okay. And there was a second by Commissioner McCool?
Yes.
Okay. Did you still want to speak, Commissioner Shimkus? Because you're on the board, no?
Yeah, I just quickly, to kind of reiterate for people out there, we're looking to ensure that the commercial restaurant property is still part of the overall thing. My understanding, and I could be wrong, from the beginning, this developer was never going to develop that as a restaurant. They were always going to sell it. Their goal or their promise, I believe, to us was they were going to put in the infrastructure and stormwater for that plat prior to selling it for a restaurant. So I want to make sure if that was clear for me or if I was wrong on that. And also just the clarification I think that we're searching for up here, they cannot begin development until we accept this. So they're not going to be able to build anything until we accept their payment of this fair share. Then they will have 24 months to, and I want to make sure this part is crystal clear, they will have 24 months to complete all residential buildings on that property. There's been a lot of talk about phases, and that's been very confusing. This is not a multi-phase development. They will do all residential property on that site in 24 months. They may do 5 buildings for 8 months, then 5 buildings, whatever, but the entirety of the residential portion will be complete in 24 months. If not, we have the capacity to ask for more prop share or whatever the case. We have, when they expire and not complete, then we have the next option of more funding. I think those are my primary issues I want to make sure we are clear on at the next meeting. Thank you.
Can we vote, please? Or Commissioner Caldwell, then Commissioner Harriet.
I echo everything that Troy had said over there, but I also want to know, this was sold to us as a total rental community, which gives us a full tax base. It's my understanding they've changed it to an owner-occupied community? No. No?
We'll have to get back to you with all the details.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'd like to know when our next commission meeting is that we can get this on the agenda. So I think the 19th, we don't have a meeting, and then Labor Day, we don't have a meeting, so the second meeting. September 4? September 2nd? Okay.
I would expect staff to have a major report to put together for the commission, giving you enough time to ask more questions following the report well before the next meeting.
So my motion, date certain, would be the September 4th meeting.
Okay. Do you still hold your second, Commissioner McCool? Okay. Can we please vote? Motion passes 6-0. This time we're going to go to city attorney comments.
I have none.
City manager comments.
Yes, Mayor and Commissioner, just real quick for a consent vote, if possible, on your table upstairs. There's a final report that needs to be signed off by the mayor. There's actually a list of people that are able to sign this. It was $30,000 in PPE and miscellaneous things from COVID. The signers from the original documents are all no longer employees here. Up to 5 or 6 people are no longer with us. We just need to have the mayor sign off to say we received the money for reimbursement for the purchases during COVID. If it's okay with the commission, just as consent that the mayor can sign that paper off, and it should be back up in front of you there. That's just a housekeeping item. That's okay.
What do you need, consensus from us?
I guess, yes, just that the mayor's approved to sign it. It was on your desk upstairs. Should be with you there. It was $30,000 in funding, project funding that the city received. We just have to have a sign off from the mayor of the city that it's closed. We acknowledge we received the funding. It was for masks and for gloves and gowns and supplies, disinfectant, everything going back to COVID days. But no one is here that was the original signees, so we just have to have the mayor sign off that it's closed.
Is that what it is, PPE stuff?
Yeah, so it's literally a housekeeping item. Just want to make sure the commission is all right with the mayor signing the paper.
Is the commission okay with that?
Agree?
I'd like to get more information on this. I will. I'd still like to get more information on it. I'd like to see the original funding agreement to see who was identified on page 6 as the applicant's authorized representative, and then I'd also ask us that next time when we have agenda items that come forth with funding agreements like this, we have a blurb in the agenda language that authorizes the city manager to sign future amendments to that, those funding agreements.
Yep. Commission agrees, move forward on it? Yes, thank you. And just one other item is Deltona University. It's going to be put out through our social media sites. It is the 6 classes teaching the community about government and how it's all run. First class will be here in this chamber September 17th. So it's about a month or so from now. We'll start the class up to 30 students. Second class will be 2 weeks later about the sheriff's office. 2 weeks after that, Public Works, Deltona Water, Fire Department, Parks and Rec, and then City Clerk's office and others. So it's over the fall, every other Tuesday, starting on September 17th. The webpage is just about to be put out, and I think the next couple of days it'll be out to the citizens to see who's interested in taking this class. So it's Deltona University. In the end, we'll have some T-shirts and a diploma for the official graduates. We'll do one every semester, fall and spring. It's a great program to teach the community about how our government works and who's leading the different departments. That's all I have right now. Thank you.
All right, we're going to go to city commission comments or reports. Commissioner Harry, you finally have both of them together, so how about it?
Thank you guys for putting them both together. With all of the incidents that we've had in the last few weeks, I'd like to understand what we could have done better, if there's anything that we could have done differently to prevent some of these incidents. In order for this city to continue to grow appropriately and move forward, we've got to make sure that it's as safe as we can. And I think that the first step in ensuring that it's safe moving forward, we have to understand what we can do. So I'd like to make sure that we speak with everybody that we can, whether it's a nonprofit community partner that specializes in pedestrian safety, or our engineering department, or a consultant. I'd like to understand what we can do to prevent some of these fatalities that we've had. I also want to share that with my partnership with the Sheriff's Office, we are offering the movie Thelma at the movie theater here in Deltona on August 13th and 14th. I believe that the showings each day are going to be at 1 p.m. The sheriff's office has asked if everybody would arrive around 12:30. There's no charge for it. The movie is about a 93-year-old woman that fell victim to scams. And after the movie, the sheriff's office detectives will present how you can avoid that. And if you do fall victim to a scam, what you can do to what's available to you. So I just wanted to make that announcement. That's exciting that we're partnering. And it's free.
At Epic Theater.
At Epic Theater. And, that's an exciting partnership with us, the Sheriff's Office, and the Epic Theaters. And then also I wanted to acknowledge, I don't think it's any surprise that I'm from Oviedo, but Tamari Jones is also an Oviedo resident, and he is competing in boxing in the Olympics. And I think it's awesome, and just wanted to recognize a fellow Central Floridian who made it all the way to the Olympics in his desired sport. So that's all I have.
Thank you.
Commissioner Shimkus.
There we go. Just a quick thank you to the employees who were doing sandbags. I was able to sit with them for a few hours and just hear about what they were doing and help them out a little bit, and they are doing an amazing job. I know I don't think we've had many major incidents from the storm in the past couple of days, so just shout out to the employees for all the work they do to keep you guys safe. Their work at the sandbag station was great. It was very efficient and very helpful. There are a lot of residents who do need those, and they appreciate that kind of work very much, so thank you for that kind of hidden service you guys do. Also, just as you heard earlier, the TPO, River to Sea TPO group does this free bike helmet opportunity, and they were at West Cryal for summer camp. They were at the library this past weekend, or last Friday, and that's a great opportunity for our community to help keep our kids safe with bike helmets, and they could be used on scooters and segways and all the fun stuff that the kids are into these days, as I sound like I'm an early old man now. And if your group wants to take advantage of that, that is an opportunity for you to do as well. You can reach out to the River to Sea TPO folks, and they can help set that up, or they can come to your event and also offer free bike helmets for kids. So keep that in mind. It's a great service. And then I'm just going to put it out there because I think we've heard from people that they want to hear about the city manager, get to know him a little more. There is a city manager meet and greet going to be held at the center on August 22nd from 5 to 7. I hope the organizer doesn't hate me for putting it out there too widely, but I think it's an important thing for the community to know about, to go and get an understanding of what DOC is all about. It's been a big change for the city, and I think we're headed in the right direction. So please take advantage of that, and have a good night.
Commissioner Avila Vasquez.
Thank you, Mayor. I don't know if that meet and greet is open to the public. You should need to check with the Rotary, because it's a Rotary event. Yeah, I think it was by invitation. Tickets, yeah. So I just want to give a shout out to our fire department for their back to school event. It was unbelievable. So many children showed up with their parents to pick up their little bags of school supplies. And volunteers, unbelievable as well. We had a nice big turnout. And as mentioned by Alfia, I went over to their 25th anniversary for Jamaica. It was really, really nice. First one I've ever attended, and looking forward to next year. And also a big shout out to Public Works. For 2 days, they were out there in the sun, in the rain, filling bags of sand and helping residents who couldn't fill their own. So thank you to the staff and for all the work that they did in those 2 days. And it took me a while to decide if I wanted to talk about this. And I decided that I do want to talk about it, because I know that it's going to be brought up at the end of this meeting. And it's the problem with Jody, or what people out there think is a problem with Jody. So my problem is that it's amazing how residents can be very selective on who they choose to defend, who they choose to attack, and who they choose to find guilty of charge without even knowing what the reasons were. So let me give you a little example. I was called a cheap streetwalker by one of our residents right there at that podium. And for those of you who don't understand what that means it's a prostitute. So right there at that podium, I was called a prostitute by a resident. And some of the people that sat here laughed, found it funny. Not one email came to me or the city asking that this person never come to these meetings and disrespect anybody up at this dais. Doesn't matter what the title, it's the person that you have to respect. That same person came back and called me a bee with an itch. You could just put those two together. Nothing was ever done. He was never reprimanded. And he continuously came back over and over again and disrespected me, calling me names, curse words, including other commissioners up here in this dais. That's one. The other thing is, we have a candidate running for office who held a conversation on Facebook accusing a commissioner of being at the fire station doing a number on our firemen. Nothing has been said. Nothing of that has come to the City Hall addressing that issue. How disrespectful can that be? And this is a candidate talking to another candidate. That same candidate, we just awarded a veteran here tonight. That same candidate disrespected my family by throwing my private life into the streets because my husband, 100% retired Vietnam veteran who served 2 years in the jungle to give him the right to say those stupid words, threw that out in the street. Well, she doesn't pay taxes. No, sir. It's not me who doesn't pay taxes. It's my husband for the time he served in the military. And yes, he is 100% disabled Vietnam veteran. That came from a candidate. Never heard an apology from anybody out there of a veteran of the United States of America being disrespected like that. A lot of things happen, and people are very picky on what they want to accuse us up here at the dais about. But we have to sit up here and take this accusation, this respect, not only to us, but to our family as well. And this needs to stop. We're here to do a job. I'm here to do a job. I want to do my job. But I refuse to sit up here and be disrespected the way that we have been disrespected. That's why I'm not on Facebook, but I do get these messages sent to me. We need to have a little bit more respect for each other. We're working together on this. We all live in the same community. We all shop in the same stores. We all give a handout to all of us. Each of us are here to help each other. Let's come together and work together and stop all this horrible, nasty, mean stuff that's going on Facebook. Let's work together as human beings, and let's start respecting each other. Thank you, Mayor.
Commissioner McCool.
Sister. I'm going to address a couple of things. Thank you for that. First of all, I would like to thank all of our emergency personnel. It's been a rough 10 days in Deltona. We've had multiple fatalities, traffic, fire, and it's traumatizing to our personnel that is sworn to take care of us every day. So I want to thank you guys, and any support that you need from your city, please know that it is here, that we hear you, that we are here for you, and that we support everything that you do. With that being said, I want to send out, again, prayers to the family of Master Deputy Bradley Link, who was serving his community and was gunned down. Also, the Deputy First Class Stefano Gargano and Master Deputy Harold Howell. Those two were injured in that same commission of that same crime. We never know when our people are not going to come back. and we need to support them, and that is why I don't have a problem with supplying our sheriff's department and our firefighters with whatever it is they need to serve us because of the way they serve us, and because they sacrifice their mental health and their bodies every day to do a job for this community. Yes, we're taxpayers, we pay for it, but I know that we have healthcare professionals sitting out there right now and officers that's sworn to take care of the community, and it's taxing mentally and emotionally. So thank you for the job that you do. In light of that, I have asked that the city manager, and I hope that it is okay, to light up City Hall blue at night for the rest of the week. I also made the request that our flag be flown at half-staff. The city flag may be flown at half-staff, but the American flag, it needs an order from the government. According to Florida statute, the mayor can make that request of the governor's office. I did speak to Representative Webster this morning, and he pushed that to the mayor's office, so I will let you handle that. I know that you have a relationship with that office, Mr. Mayor, so if you would do that, and following the support that we have for our safety personnel. So thank y'all for the job that you have done out there. We really appreciate it. I've also asking us, along with the other commissioners, to look at patrol on Howland Boulevard. We've had some horrible accidents happen there, and it's unfortunate, so I'm going to ask us to look at that level of service for patrol. We've been talking about it for years now. I know that we have extra funding coming in for the sheriff's office, so please, these are traumatic events, and we need aftercare. The community needs aftercare from losing residents, and we just need the comfort of knowing that we are addressing that. I would also like to thank the city for going above and beyond with the sandbags. The response was amazing. Not only that, we took care of, we had some disabled and elderly where bags were taken to these residents, and the residents were crying because their city cared about them, and these moments count in our city. These moments count.
Not just restricted to Deltona.
Exactly.
It was open to everyone.
It was open to everyone. Our Osteen family also, it is open. If you are in need, you are part of Deltona's family if you are around us. So with that being said, thank you for the city of Deltona for stepping up in that manner. Public Works, I can't say enough about your staff and the jobs that you guys do. Oftentimes criticized, but you need to understand that you do an amazing job, and the residents are thankful for that. The last thing I would like to address also is the social media suck. You know, how toxic it has become. I myself have been you know, a participant and a victim of social media bullyism. I have exited every social media group that I belong to on Facebook, and have limited to my family because it is a toxic environment, and it is a very insular environment that once entered, it takes active mental health and self-care to get out of. It's a chamber of negativity. There's very few solutions provided on social media. It is easy for people to be warriors on social media. It is easy for people to say things that they wouldn't get away with in real life. I know that there has been stuff sent to the City Hall for things that I said 4 years ago on social media that became relevant all of a sudden now that it's election season, where I have spoken my mind, and I do believe that anyone that knows me knows that I am capable of diplomacy, but oftentimes fail at that. I strive to be a good city representative for the city of Deltona, for my constituency, and for my fellow commissioners, but do not take suffering fools lightly, and especially those that attack women. With that being said, I've addressed the issue of our vice mayor, who I do support, who I believe what happened. I do not condone disrespect to any female, and I believe that anyone knows that. In my history of working with women and substance abuse and domestic violence, that can't be called into question, and I am loyal to that fact. But I remain silent on this event, as Commissioner Avila Vasquez says, because the women up here on this dais has been subject to some horrific horrific things said about them in here, in this room, and on social media. I have been accused of being mentally insane. That one I won't fight too much, okay? The second one, I have been called a whore. I have been told that I need to suck a bag of things up here in letters by people that are on social media. I was called streetwalker. I have been called a child abuser. I have been called a lot of things up here and was told that I needed to take it because I am an elected official. Well, I'll tell you this, I am a female first, I am a human first, and I'm an elected official second. I will still not tolerate bullies, period, of any persuasion, because we can't do that in our society. We become complicit when we do not stand up for things that are right. In absence of seeing anything right, I have now moved myself out of the social media suck, and I still stand up for the rights of women and the rights of humans to be respectful to one another. Until such time as that happens, I don't participate in social media. So if you're on social media and are trying to get in touch with me, you can contact me at my city email, or I'll be more than happy to provide you with my city phone, and my personal phone is out there also. So I support our vice mayor. I support our females, whether you be resident or an elected official. No one should have to listen to that about themselves, in particular in a public environment. So it has to stop, and I agree with that. I really appreciate the support of the men on this dais that I have talked to about this issue, the men outside of this that are decent humans, for their support also. And if you see something, say something. And I would like to thank the women for reaching out also. And I have reached out to the subject of that social media post and have spoken to her. And I am at ease with what my comments are. But respect has become lost, and we need to reacquaint ourselves with that art. With that being said, thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Commissioner Stephen Colwell? I have nothing. Okay. So Vice Mayor Jody Lee isn't here. So a couple things. Deltona City Hall on Wednesday, August 7th from 9 to 3:30 is having a donate blood. Please come out and help us save some lives. First responders, Gobble Gallup 5K Sunday, November 17th. I'm sure we're going to bring this back up several more times. Sign up. It's extremely important. It's a lot of fun. Look, I'm out of shape. If I can do it, anyone can do it, okay? So it's a lot of fun. I did want to bring up a situation. I came to City Hall the other day, and I sent the city manager an email just to cover myself. I was asked by Flores to sign a document for a settlement, and I was told it was extremely sign sensitive, and the city attorney said it needed to be me. I signed the document against every fiber of my brain telling me not to sign it because it was time sensitive. I am now publicly asking again, even though I already asked this email, was I supposed to sign that document? Because, and Joyce is a witness, I was told that I needed to sign the document, even though I believe the charter says that I shouldn't be signing it without consent from the dais. So I need clarification on that moving forward, because that was the one and only time. I'm not doing that again.
Well, you know, based on what the women up there have spoken, I have been treated to the same kind of behavior also. And you made a statement in that email you sent out questioning my legal ability and never talked to me, did not email me, had no attempt to discuss it. Yes, Mr. Mayor, you were legally obligated to sign that document under our agreement with our carrier. That went to Shade. It was settled within the limits the commission put on it, and it was settled within the limits that our carrier puts on a case. They rank all our cases when they make a bid, and if we settle within the amount they have put aside, it comes from their side of the ledger, not ours. So it is not city money that was used. I would have been happy to explain that to you at any time if you had ever asked me.
Marcia, this is not for us to attack each other. I have to protect myself because our charter doesn't, I shouldn't be signing a document without consensus from the dais. And when you guys are putting,
you had consensus
Ms. George,
in the
if I may
Shade
finish,
meeting.
if you guys told me from one moment to another, hey, this needs to be signed, and I don't have time to do anything, it puts me in a very difficult situation. So it's nothing that has to do with you. I go by the hallway, I say, hi, Ms. Eagle George, you don't even respond. So it's not a matter of me being disrespectful to you. I have questions, I have concerns. Many times I'm told I can't be signing a document, and here I am being told something totally different. So if that offended you, I apologize, but I need to protect myself. So now that it's public, I also, Joyce, if you can make that email I sent out public as well, it's public anyways, so people can see and they can make up their own minds if I was being disrespectful or not. Wednesday, there's going to be a coffee with the congressman at 2 p.m. at the center. I invite everyone to come out. It's free to the public. Ask questions. It's very important. I think it's going to be a great event. Sorry, I took notes and I was writing on here. I don't recall what this one is. So I have to address the Jody Lee thing, right? So a few months ago, we had a situation with former Commissioner Tom Burbank, right? And I get it. I had cameras slapped on my face when a certain commissioner was called a streetwalker on this dais, and I asked the sheriff to escort that person out. For days, I had people, a specific person, I'm not going to even mention his name because the phone will start blowing up, calling me, telling me all atrocities. I don't say anything about it because at the end of the day, it is what it is. I ignore it. We're held to a different standard, okay? What Vice Mayor Jody Lee did was wrong. All of us up here are held to a different standard. Whether it was Commissioner Burbank saying what he did, and I expect if I say something in that matter, I should be held accountable as well. So I'm going to make a motion to censure Vice Mayor Jody Lee for his comments that he made on social media. Okay, the motion dies. Commission adjourned. We know where every